Right, okay, 1-2-1-2. Well, the last time we saw you, Akin Famewa was the latest injury on the list. How is he today?
Yeah, no, he's okay. What I just thought was certainly on the injury list and that that Akin's okay. But in terms of discussing the rest of the injuries, and he will just sort of leave that to like a later date really and just focus on the game. I'm on here today to really let us all focus on the game tomorrow. We've got a game tomorrow against Exeter, and I just really want the focus sort of to be on the game and away from the injury situation.
Because
Focus on the game.
you're not normally reticent to talk about injuries.
Now focus on the boys that are fit and ready. That's where all our energies. I want all our energies to go for the boys that are fit and ready.
So, from that, do I detect that the squad that was available the other day is no different to the one that's available tomorrow then? So the injured lads are not in the picture?
We'll focus on the game tomorrow, Andy.
Right, okay. Is this because you've got secrets?
No secrets. You know me, Andy. It's not no secrets. What I just want to do, Andy, is just get us all really just focusing on the game tomorrow. It's a wonderful game for us as a football club tomorrow. And rather than just thinking about outside of the game, I just want everybody that's going to be present tomorrow to be focused on the game. And that even includes you, Andy, if you're there.
Okay. Does it really? Well, I'm looking forward to some surprises then tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, then, look, how big a pressure is on this game, then? Look, your destiny's not your own. Back at home, it's a crucial time.
Yeah, and I mean, for us, Andy, tomorrow, it is a great game for all connected at the football club. But also, we've always gone with it. Certainly, when we've been at home, it's just focusing on everybody coming in and supporting really. And for me tomorrow, the key for me is the supporters, our supporters. That's the key. They're the number one for me tomorrow. I know they're coming to support the team tomorrow, coming to see the team, and you'll talk about the team. But for me, it's the supporters tomorrow. The supporters have been playing a magnificent part all season. I mean, I thank the 1,500 or so that was down at Bristol in midweek, made that hard-earned journey down there, and I was really pleased that they supported the team and we got the 3 points. And now we come back at home in front of our loyal home support, and my message has always been clear. They've been magnificent all season, and they're the number one catalyst tomorrow. Is the home crowd.
Some, however, have written off the chances of automatic promotion. What would you say to those fans?
No, it's the beautiful thing about football, Andy. It's full of individual opinions. That's the beautiful thing about the industry. But as the fact states at the moment, is the football club is in a position where it's challenging for promotion, and that's where we are. When you look at the bare facts, however you want to strip it back or however you want to dress it up, that is the fact of the matter. We can't change individual perspective and individual views. That's down to the individual. The individual has to deal with that. He or she will deal with that in their own manner. We just got to focus on the biggest scale is where we are now. The factual matters are we're still in a position where the club's in that wonderful position, and it's a position that it should be enjoyed by everybody connected at the football club.
Would it be a failure if you don't get automatic promotion?
Why would it be a failure?
Because of the players that you've had and got at your disposal, and the nature of the squad that you've been able to put together.
How's that a failure?
Well,
you said automatic. You said automatic promotion.
I did say automatic, yeah. Not promotion.
That's what I mean.
Ultimately.
So that's what ultimately. At the end of the day, Andy, we're only going by hearsay. What we need to go with is facts, and I've got to churn all the mindset into the facts of where we are now. The outside talking about what if this happens or what if that happens, and looking into a crystal ball and all that. We can't do that. And I've never ever professed to do that. We've always gone with the facts of the matter. and that's where we are at the moment. It's a great game for us. We're at home against good opposition. It'll be a real good footballing match tomorrow. You know, we've spoken about the supporters coming in and being loud, and that's the bits where we're just going at this moment in time, because that's the bits that we can talk about. Anything outside of that, you can't really legislate for that, and I can't be drawn into that, because with football, we know football can go how many different ways it can take you, game after game.
What's been done to address the kind of issues that you raised down at Bristol, just about, essentially about being a bit cooler in possession?
Yeah, I think just going back to simple basics. I think, Andy, really, I think that's always been the policy with us, really, in terms of that. But I just thought it was a solid performance, and as I said, you know, when Bristol probably had a lot of the ball, but up to about 50 yards from our goal, we didn't really felt threatened. That's because players were doing their jobs. But we had it in the locker to turn our defences into attack very, very quickly with the quality that we've got in it. And as I said, you know, we got the 2 goals, which was an excellent 2 good goals for us, and we gave a solid display, which I think we deserved the 3 points and got the 3 points. What we have to do as a group is continue to build on that. And again, we've got another tough game tomorrow. We're at home, and we're looking forward to the game.
I'm sure the players have had it on social media and all that in the last few weeks and what have you, with the winless run. Has that victory down at Bristol maybe put a bit of spring in their step to see it, well, after a good first half, but then ultimately to see it through?
I hope so. I certainly hope so, because as you know, we're in this it's about winning games, and there's none more than to win a game, which I felt was at a difficult place as well, really, at the time. Very, very difficult. But again, it shows the character of the group to go down there and get the result. And we wanted to get the right result down there. We got the result that we went to go and get down there, which was the 3 points. So credit to the group of players in the time scale they had to work. That's the more impressive thing with that type of result. So to win a game, it's going to give you confidence. To win a game, it's going to give everybody confidence around, really, because that's what winning football matches does. And we've done that. So, but what we have to do is turn the page. We've got another real key game tomorrow, and a huge game for the football club.
Yeah, Exeter lost their last 4. What do you read into that?
What I read into it is they're a good footballing team. They've got a real young manager in Gary there that's bringing his own philosophies to them. The games that they've lost, you know, they've lost by the odd goal and that, but you know, they've played some good stuff in between that. So again, you know, they're a professional team. They're coming up here, and as I said, you know, they'll know in terms of coming up to here, to our ground, in terms we played them early in the season, and you know, we scored really late on against them. So I envisage another good footballing match again tomorrow, Andy, and a game that, irrespective of the form guide, we've got to be really on top of our form.
Best of luck.
Cheers, Andy. Top man.
You alright, Darren? How you doing?
Alright, Joe. Good, thanks.
Good stuff. With the home record this season, obviously really strong record at home, 1 defeat. Aside from the obvious of the fans being there, what do you think it is about Hillsborough that's allowed you to be so, I suppose, consistent at home?
The fans.
Just them.
Honestly, Joe, the fans. I have to say, and it really is, and I can't speak highly enough for them, really, and talk them up, really, because not just this season but last season as well, you look at the home record that we had, has been really, really phenomenal, really, consistently over the two seasons I'm going back to. And though this season our away form has improved really a lot, which we had to do, I just think that at home they've been really, 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 really good, and getting behind the team, and you know, you felt the energy and the culture within the football club change. But that's because You know, there's a connection with the team, there's a connection with the supporters, and vice versa. So they've made Hillsborough into a place where it's great to come and play your football, and it is. And not only that, but speaking to the players about what Hillsborough is like when it's full and it's in full voice. You know, you'll go a long way to go into any other clubs under the atmosphere that we can set down at the S6.
Do you think that, I suppose with the fans, are you, the last 2 games you would hope going to be really good atmosphere, is going to be bouncing there. Do you think you'll get the chance to enjoy it at all? It's obviously been a long season. I know you focus on the game a lot, but will you have a chance to actually enjoy the atmosphere in these last 2 home games?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you know me, Joe, I come out early before, you know, to get involved with the supporters when they're singing the High Hole Silver Lining. So I get involved in that really, and it really energises me. So I get the energy of the crowd really, and it sets me for the game. So for me, that's been something that I really look forward to, and I can speak about it because I know once I've delivered the team talk in there, I get my coat and I'm straight out and onto the pitch to be in the atmosphere because I don't want to miss it. So that tells me that how the fans can energise us as well as that. Even though you got the team there and everything else, when they bring their energy, it's something to behold of really.
You said sort of after the Bristol Rovers game that you focused more on classroom work because of the turnaround time that you had. Have you approached this one differently? Because obviously you've had a lot more time, and have you managed to get some sort of individual working with the players? Yeah,
we got a bit of work on the pitch, but again it's been the classroom work. And like I said, Joe, at this stage of the season, the players know how we work, they know how we coach, they know the messages we bring. So right now it's not about the fitness side of the players getting the fitness side. It's just the maintaining now, and just keeping the messages clear with clarity and concise. And I think that's what we've done. So as well as doing it physically on the pitch, I'm equally happy with them with us not touching the pitch and just doing classroom basis work really with the players, because there's a great understanding. So again, with the game on Tuesday and us getting back early hours and on Wednesday morning, recovery time for the players, there's still a minimal time to get some work in, which we've done, and a percentage of that being in the classroom again.
I remember speaking to you right back at the start of the season, and you've always said it was going to be tight at the top of the table. You always thought it was going to be a lot of points that were needed, but did you ever envisage that you'd be on 87 points with 3 games to go and you wouldn't even be in the top 2?
Joe, if I'm honest, yeah, I really did, because last season I think we finished on 85, and we knew last season on 85 points, and the reason why I said it was because there was 7 teams amassed 80 points, and that was last season. And when I looked at this season with the calibre of teams that was in there and the potential, I knew you'd be going north of that mark. So that's why I said at the start of the season that it will be a lot of points tally this year, even more than last year. And it's for me certainly not ironic that, you know, we're sitting at this point, you know, on 87 points with 3 more matches to go in the current season, and still it's undecided, the league really at the moment. So yeah, it's just when I was looking back at last season and the season to come, I could say that really at the start, and we'll wait and see. You know, everybody's contesting tomorrow again. We just focus here at Wednesday and making sure that we're as well prepared for it as we can, and making sure that we're ready to play another difficult game tomorrow and contest and compete as we always do.
Excellent. It's the anniversary today of your goal for West Brom that sent them up in 2002. You've obviously experienced that as a player. How much would you like to experience sort of a promotion as a manager? Because I'm sure it'll be a different feeling to doing it as a player.
Yeah, it would mean everything for me to do at this football club for so many different reasons, you know, that I wouldn't express now, because the reason why I wouldn't express it now is because there's a lot of work still to be done, and I just want to remain calm, focused, committed, which I've always been, and just focus on the job in hand, because that's what the fan base and everybody calls me to do is to focus on it. So, for now, Joe, I just want to focus on that. But if I could surmise it, it would mean everything to me as a manager. But as I said, I won't go into the details because I want to just focus on the job in hand, which is the game tomorrow.
Got some good memories of that day, I'm sure, that from when you scored that goal.
Some great memories, great days, the feeling of adulation, to score the goal, to take the club into the Premier League, the knock-on effect, what it sends into the communities. And it's a memorable moment that we're talking about it today. So you have these moments in football where, even though it's gone, it's a long time gone, there's still a memory that it was like it happened yesterday. It really does. So, and that's what football can do. Those one special iconic moments can bring so many people together with sheer adulation and enjoyment. So, and that's what that goal is remembered for.
Hopefully we've got a couple of those still to come this season. Just lastly from me, I want to ask about Leojo Davidson and Will Truman. I noticed they've not been in the under-21 side recently. Is that down to injuries? I know that you said there's someone like Bobby Dunn's left, for instance. What's happening with Leojo and Will? I know they played their part in the first team this season.
Yeah, no, we're discussing them. We've got like a technical board meeting on Tuesday, I think it is, Joe. Where sort of certain decisions will be made on certain individuals, and we'll be discussing those two, because those two are reaching an age and a stage of their careers where it's about senior football now. So we got to look at those two, because the ages that they are, under 23s football, it's not really no longer for them, with not their programme. So what they need to do is look at senior football. So we need to come together as a group and staff, and I think it's on Tuesday in the week, if my diary serves me correct, to discuss the younger players, which we will be doing this week.
Thanks for your time, Darren. I'll see you
Cheers. Thanks, Joe.
Darren, how's it going?
Afternoon, Al.
You alright?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
Good. Bit of a grey area, given you're not wanting to talk about injuries, but you did mention that Icky had come through all right in the 21s. What's the story with him? Is he under consideration for a start or bench, or what's the crack?
Yeah, no, Icky's come through the under 23s game, which was great to get some football specific movements. He's trained the last couple of days, no reaction, because what you wanted to do, Alex, is, remember what I said, like, is just find out any reaction from it. He's had no reaction, which is great, which is excellent. So, he's part of the squad.
Great stuff. And I imagine, I know he's been around the group a little bit, but having someone of his experience and promotions under the belt can be a big thing for the group.
Yeah, huge for the group, just for his experience and know-how, but especially for Icky himself, really coming here and enjoying his football and having suffered that injury, so to get him back, it's almost like a new signing in some respects, really. So to get him back at this stage is excellent, really, and we're pleased to have him on board.
Great stuff. Baz has got either a goal or assist in the last four, sort of come up with those little magic moments of his. Considering all that he's got on, we've both got kids. We know how difficult that first month can be. How much of a testament to him and his attitude is all that?
Yeah, really, it is for Baz. It's excellent for him, and just the way he manages himself, really, in terms of he's got a really young, beautiful family, and he's a father, so he's got huge responsibilities as we all have, but also maintaining his professional approach and contributing to games on the pitch has been exceptional, and we speak and eulogise about Baz's ability, and we're talking about him this weekend being probably one of the nominees for the divisional player of the season, and rightly so, because he just produces moments of magic on the pitch with the ball at his feet, but also as well what goals is his work as well. His work rate off the ball for the team has been exceptional as well. So he leads by example. But as I said, he's playing for a club that he loves really dearly, and he gives everything really for it. So credit to him. And as I said, you know, his goals and assists, you know, as long as he keeps doing that, then he's kept us in where we are at the moment in the season, and he'll play, as long as he stays fit, he'll play a pivotal part for the running as well.
Sort of further to that, it's come at a time where there's so many away games, you know, in terms of that travel, in terms of that family time and all the rest of it. So I suppose that's made it even more difficult and made the achievement of maintaining his performance levels even more impressive.
Yeah, and he gets, you know, it's, you know, I've had the beauty of, you know, sharing, you know, in terms of, he's got a young family, so even when he's been travelling and he gets back late at night and he's in his bed, the kids don't know he needs his rest. So they're in early in the morning, waking daddy up really, because they just want to see him. But he obviously at the same time he would require his rest, but at the same time he wouldn't have it any other way, Baz. So probably what you wouldn't see is that, yeah, we're all fathers as well, but also at the same time he has to produce that on the pitch on a physical nature. So he needs his body, he needs a rest, and obviously we know to rest and recuperate, the best way is sleep for any players, is to get that recuperation in. But as I said, he's managing it exceptionally well, producing, and as I said, you know, he's been exceptional for us. Or since I've been here under him as a manager, I've seen his game improve no end really, in both positions, in possession of the ball and off the ball. It's been really, really good.
Fantastic. We're all sort of staring at the fixture list for all three teams at this stage. There's a theory going around that if Wednesday win their last three games, they'll go up automatically. What do you make of that?
Hard to predict. I mean, again, you can't. We're predicting about something that we don't. Truth be known, none of us know really, Alex. If truth be known, what we are, we just, like I said, I spoke earlier. Is talking about the position that we're currently in now, and I'm wanting everybody to sort of just focus on the game tomorrow really, and just make sure that, you know, if you're part of Sheffield Wednesday and you're supporting the club in the position that you or she would deem tomorrow, it's just coming and giving you full energy towards the team and the situation, because the players really buzz off that, the atmosphere and getting behind them. But for us to turn around and predict what could happen now, I don't think anybody at the start of the season would have predicted up until this stage. So why we're going to start predicting now would be silly in some senses, because the football has a way and means of taking you mentally and physically places where you thought was impossible, but it does. So the best thing we can just do is focus on the game tomorrow and give our best energies and efforts into the game tomorrow, and then come the end of it, we'll see where we are.
Yeah, great. Slightly away from the spirit of focusing everything on tomorrow, he's had it to say, so I thought I'd afford you the opportunity to have yours. Joey Barton's been quite vocal since Tuesday evening. Some of the phrases that he's used, Wednesday's style of play archaic, not easy on the eye. He suggested that you come straight back down from the Championship, playing the way that you are, and the latest line, Wednesday are only successful because they've stockpiled good players. Do you want to offer any response to Joey?
No, but just thank you, Joey, for your kind words.
I mean, he's prefaced all that, you know, in two separate, I don't know, rants or monologues by saying no disrespect, but I mean, it doesn't read all that respectful.
No, and we know that, and we know Joey can be vocal. We know he can be vocal, but what we are just doing is, listen, we wanted to go to Bristol and get 3 points. We got 3 points. He's got his own reasons for the game. That's down to Joey. We've got no problem. From our point of view, we went to Bristol to go and win, and we got the win. It was a difficult game for us, Alex, and we got the win, and we're really pleased to get the win. But with him commenting on where we are, listen, that's understandable. And I sincerely wish Joey all the best going forward, really. in terms of that, and his team and his football club and the work that he's doing down there is good. And he's got a lovely team down there. He's taking the club forward in terms of the players that he's got down there and the style of player and bringing the club together. But we had a job to do down there, Alex, which was to go down there and get the 3 points, and that's what we did. It was a hard game, but it's a game that I thought we navigated very, very well in terms of how we went down there with our approach. Remember what I said to you, sometimes there's certain games this season where it's horses for courses, and it's been adaptable for that. But at the end of the game, you've got to come out with the 3 points, and that's why we're pleased with it, because it was a difficult game down there. Remember what I said to you? I think, and please forgive me because I've not looked at the league table, so I don't know in terms of the top 6 are, but if there's, I think we're the first team in the top 6 to go there and win. So that shows you the difficulty and nature of the game, and that's why we've come away with 3 valuable points, which is what we wanted. But it wasn't easy, but we had to go down there in the manner. What it shows us is an adaptability with our team, a focus where the boys can change focus in terms of getting the job done and understanding what is required, and have been adaptable in our play. And it's good that the boys can be adaptable in that, because it can catch the opposition unawares in terms of how they think you may be setting up to go against them, and you go with a different game plan. We certainly went down there with a different game plan, and it's always nice that when the game plan works, it's always good. The game plan worked for us, and that's it, we move on. I've got the utmost respect for Joey, as he knows, and I wish him and the lads and the team, the club, all the best going forward, and they'll continue to progress under his managerial.
Classy stuff, Darren. Cheers. Catch you tomorrow.
All right. Cheers.
Hi Darren, you okay?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Ricky.
Good stuff. Obviously you've been in relegation fights as well as promotion scraps. How does it differ, the pressure and the types of pressure that each involve?
Ricky, in terms of my experience in it, this is not the pressure moment where we're at. The pressure's at last week where we was at, where Burton and Albion were fighting for relegation. That's the pressure. And in terms of both senses, you know, I've been at West Brom and different places where it's been a great escape and things like that, and that's real pressure. But then I've been at the other end where we are now, and this bit is to be enjoyed. To be honest with you, it's the bit to be enjoyed. It's the bit to be enjoyed of being consistently being good over the large part of the season, and filling the whole community and people around the club with hope. And that has to be enjoyed, and that's the difference what I put in both, because certainly at the other end it's not to be enjoyed, because there's real tension and apprehension with it. This bit here now is where everybody should arrive tomorrow and having that real adulation feeling of potentially the club's in a position where, you know, who knows how it could go over these next few weeks, put ourselves in a position where potentially we could be in the thick of things in regards for promotion. So that bit should be enjoyed.
And obviously key to that, I suppose, is trying to get that early goal, especially tomorrow. You know, spoke about it against Accrington. You know, you could feel a little bit of nerves around the crowd, which is understandable, I guess, but getting that early goal, you would see as key to settling them down a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It's always nice. An early goal is, as we know, but sometimes we don't know how games ebb and flow really, and it's just maintaining our focus on the game that we've got tomorrow, and making sure that we're absolutely continue to build on what we have done thus far, and I think that's the main thing with it really. Of course, the ideal scenario would be to get an early goal to settle people down, but if we doesn't get an early goal, we still keep the vocal support loud, we still keep concentration levels on the pitch, and we're making sure that on both aspects that we're maintaining that consistency really, because by maintaining those two from a crowd perspective and from a player perspective, it keeps you in position in the game to get yourself a goal and trying to go on and win the game. So those two things must remain in terms of it. And as I said, you know, an early goal does present it, but if not, those two aspects must remain throughout the game.
A lot of, a portion of fans are calling for young Rio Shipston to not necessarily start, but, you know, get a bit more game time. Do you think that I think we spoke about this before, but it's worth asking again. Do you think it's the right time to put him in, or is that why you're managing him carefully?
Yeah, it's managing him carefully. I agree with the fans. He's very close. He's really, really close. But what we've been working on with Rio is there's a real transitional period from academy into first team. And what the transitional period is, what I can say to the supporters is, when you're playing academy football, it's all about when you step up in the first team, it's power. So you need to, there's the power and precision and detail on your passes. The ball moves quicker at first team level. The players cover the ground quicker. So passes may be on in the academy, which you're knocking, are still on in the first team. You just got to up your tempo, your speed and the power and the pass to get it to where you need to get it to. Because what's on in the academy will be on at first team level, but passes what you'd play through the academy may get cut out at first team level. So what we're just doing real now is just bringing his mental psyche up to the level and the speed of the first team. Him training with us every day is him gravitating to that. And not only that, Ricky, with him playing up against people, he's putting on the physical power as well. So all those bits he's being trained for now for making that start. But I do agree with the supporters. He's really, really close at the moment. He's putting himself in a real good position where he can start games. And as I said, he's one for the future for us, for the football club, and we're really pleased to have him on board, really.
Do you think if circumstances were different and that you had, you know, say you were mid-table, for instance, or there wasn't much to play for, would it be the case of he might get more minutes rather than, you know, you're in a promotion battle and it's not really the right time to, you know, to chuck him in at the deep end, if you like?
Yeah, you could say that, Ricky. You could say that, absolutely. But also at the same time, is even in this situation where we are now, he's still deemed as somebody that I feel's got the mental capacity to handle it, and he's geared for it. As I said, the bits and pieces that we've been training him up and getting him up to speed from a development point of view has been that in regards to him on the ball and off the ball, and he's shown he's shown great progression in terms of that. And as I said, as I speak now, I do echo it and share it with the supporters. He's in a really, really strong position to potentially start games. And should he have to come in at any point, even with tomorrow's game, should he start or come off the bench and that, we've got no hesitation. He's in a far better position than he was, say, 2 or 3 months ago.
Just wanted to ask you a little bit about recruitment, because I know the focus will obviously be promotion and the here and now, but, you know, are those wheels in motion for next season? And is that dependent, obviously, on what division you're going to be in? Because that must be tough. It must be tough at the best of times, but especially when you don't know what league you're going to be.
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. And what we've left is, in terms of the recruitment side, is they're doing that work, and we've got a group of guys behind us. They're doing that work, sourcing all sorts of different avenues of players, and that's their job in terms of what they're going to do. I've actually ceased away from talking to them over the last probably month, probably 2 months, when usually we have a meeting every single week, because the reason being that I just wanted to keep my focus on here, and they know where we're at and they know the work that they need to do, and I've got every confidence in terms of the data that they've got for the players, irrespective of where we are. I think you touched on it, Ricky, before. Let's just all focus on the here and now, because even in the here and now, there's plenty to do here and now for us all to keep engaged with and focused without looking and towards the potential future and what can happen, or if what maybes. Let's just focus on now.
But in terms of that, just finally to end on that, but there was obviously a report from up north about a young lad called Dylan Smith, 16. Apparently scouts have gone and watched him. Is that the kind of area that you'd be looking at, and also that kind of, profile, young talented players to not necessarily play in the first team, but boost the academy squad or the under 23s, and is that the kind of route that the club's going to go down, do you think?
Yeah, without me giving too much too soon. Yes, there is the younger players, but the ideal players that we're looking for, Ricky, is the younger ones, but ones what's going to step in the first team. We have looked at the squad, and in terms of that, we feel that there's a lot of experience in our squad. But what we need to just do is we feel that we could fill that in, certainly in the outer season with some younger players, definitely without a doubt, because we feel that we've got an experience enough squad already, so the experience is there. What we could do is we'd fill it in with some younger players. But when I speak about younger players, I'm talking about young players that can come in and step in and do a job. Yeah. Young players, i.e. that we've had over the like the McGuinnesses, the Stories, that can come in and have an impact and take the team forward, really, just to give you an example.
Good stuff. Cheers, Darren. Good luck tomorrow.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hello, Darren. How are you doing?
Hi, Stu.
I just wanted to ask, obviously you'd rather be in Ipswich's and Plymouth's position at the moment, that's obvious, but in your experience, when it gets to this stage, does it almost make it mentally a bit easier? You've just got to go out and win games, and there's no sort of complication to it.
Yeah, so I suppose so, Stu. But remember I said at the start of the season when we first did this interview, what was Sheffield Wednesday's remit was to win games. And moving on 43 games later, what Sheffield Wednesday's remit is to win games. So the way I'm able to sit here and sort of give that message is basically there's nothing really changed much from us. But what has changed is the psyche, in terms of everybody can see the finishing line and they can kind of surmise or trying to work out what's needed. So that adds more tension to it. But for me, it's winning games, because ultimately, if we are to get to where everybody wants us to desire to get to, was to win games. If we had to do that at the start of the season to get to this point, and in order to get it across the line, we've got to continue that. So that's the reason why it doesn't change my psychological viewpoint on the situation. It's because we got to win games. So yes, of course you would like to be where those two are, but the fact of the matter that we're not, but we're still in a position where if winning games, we might be able to affect that outcome.
And obviously you've talked all the way through this press conference about focusing on the next game, but you are dealing with a group of human beings. Have you seen that focus from them? Has there been any distractions in terms of people talking about Ipswich's game at the weekend or what have you, or is that tunnel vision there that you want? Yeah,
no, honestly, Stu, there's been no talk of it at all. And I've not had to pull anybody up about it, because there's been none. And if there was, I'd say, yeah, we've had to pull one or two and straighten up one or two. But such has been, I've always maintained the focus has always been about us here at Sheffield Wednesday, and that has continued it. And I've not heard anything all week. It was good to get the 3 points at Bristol Rovers. We knew the difficulty of the game. We got the right 3 points with the game, and it's brought us to this point here now where we want to try and continue that, and kind of solidify performances back to back, if you like, in terms of getting the right one. So that's all what we've been focusing about, is trying to be another ideal good version of ourselves and continue that tomorrow.
And just thinking about last season's League One, Rotherham went 21 games unbeaten, and I think it was about this stage of the season where they dropped out of the top two. I was at Gillingham on the last game of the season. Michael Ehekwe and Michael Smith were great that day. How much helped it, is it not just in terms of an experience point of view, but a confidence point of view, that those two have been through a situation like this quite recently?
Yeah, and it's great to have them here for such a time as this, really. And they're both fit, they're both well, so they're both wonderful additions to have back now in the squad at this time, because yes, they have probably 12 months previously been through it all and understand from a physical point of view, from a psychological point of view, So it's great to have two players of that experience in now, but two players of that experience that can go across the white line where the performance is needed, and having been there and trying to replicate in terms of their preparation and the state of the games and those kind of moments that you go through as a player on the pitch. So to have them there is vital for us, Stu, and as I said, we've just got to focus on the game tomorrow, and to have those two back in around the squad can only be a good thing for us.
Just picking up on that, you mentioned the physical experience, and you've obviously talked about Barry's situation. How important is that? Just knowing how to look after yourself between games, because I imagine it takes a while to learn that as a player.
Of course, and you know, you're talking about two experienced players that, depending on the emotional state of the game, are able to remain calm. Depending on the state of the game, are able to up the tempo or lower it, or give words of advice and wisdom to the players when they're on that pitch. And there is so much things that's going on that pitch that the whole arena is seeing from their own viewpoint that they're missing on the pitch. There's things that I'm sure that's happening on the pitch, and you're thinking, well, I'm watching it, so how can it not happen? But I'm telling you, there's things inside that pitch that supporters from the viewpoint will look at the game tomorrow, and you'll miss things tomorrow, and you'll say, but I've not taken my eye off the game, but you'll miss things tomorrow. And it just happens, and it happens in every sporting arena, because the individuals and the professionals that's in the arena knows what's happening in there in terms of it, and getting them extra yards or getting that little bit of advantage. And some of the words, sometimes I'm in the technical area, and I'm sure some of the conversations, what's going on there, of course it's not going to be heard by the crowd if you're sitting in certain parts of the stadium. So there's a lot going on that, even though people are watching it, that goes amiss really, which that's just the game really. So to have those two back inside the pitch in the arena is vital.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, Darren.
Thanks, Stu. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated.